The selection process for managing Busan City's treasury with an annual budget of over 15.6 trillion won has commenced. Currently, Busan Bank handles the primary treasury and Kookmin Bank manages the secondary treasury. However, with Hana Bank joining the fray, intense competition is anticipated. And notably this year, there is a possibility of competitive bidding for the primary treasury position the Busan Bank has held for 24 years. Busan City announced today on the application notice for the city treasury designation and confirmed the upcoming selection schedule. An international organization's entry briefing will be held at 1:30 p.m. on the 17th in the main auditorium of Busan City Hall, offering local youth opportunities to gain employment in international organizations and global companies. The event is co-hosted by the City of Busan and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and organized by the University Job Plus Center and the Busan Employers Federation. According to the City of Busan today, 7 international organizations will participate in the event, including the United Nations Secretariat, UNESCO, UNHCR, UNICEF, WHO, ICC, and OECD. In international news, Europe's new rocket Ariane 6 successfully launched on its maiden flight from French Guiana, lifting off at 16 o'clock local time. The €4 billion Euro rocket, developed for heavy lift missions, aimed to deploy a set of satellites into orbit. And now taking a quick look at the weather here in Busan City. No more rain is expected in the afternoon. A high wind warning with winds exceeding 20 meters per second was in effect expected to be lifted between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Coming up next is 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Is there anything more enjoyable than jumping into some cool water on a hot summer day? Whether it's a pool, the sea, or even a water park, people love water as a way to beat the heat, especially when it's muggy and gross outside. After all, you don't want to hide indoors all summer, right? Outside is where all the excitement of summer usually takes place. So today we're going to talk about some interesting ideas happening around Korea to both keep people cool and entertain this summer. It's Wednesday, July 10th. This is the 2 p.m. Reboot. Let's get it started.
When we talk about
We just kicked off the show with Run Your Mouth by the Marias, and that is the Marias. Okay, I keep hearing their name. They've been active since 2016, but I've been hearing about this Los Angeles band a lot lately. And I guess now I know why. They're definitely known for catchy songs, but they're also known for having striking visuals that accompany their songs since day one. Their first album was actually titled Cinema, and I guess there's a reason for that. They like making very interesting videos. Their band photos are even interesting to look at, and it's all been used to promote the album. They're stunning, simply. And apparently they like the color red because they use that a lot. So when the Marias announced that their second album would be called Submarine, fans were excited, of course, because there would be new songs, but also because they wanted to know, what will the visuals look like if the keyword is submarine? So the band shared the cover art for Submarine with a blue image of Maria, once again crouching down, like the first cover art, and this time alone in an underwater frame with her head tilted upwards. One fan speculated apparently she has become the swan, and that was later shared by the band. The band was, I guess, very interested in that as well. So the bands, also, of course, they're known for their music, as most bands are, but this band apparently gets a lot of attention for their visuals as well, and those have just as much meaning to their listeners. Really interesting. Good way to start the show on this Wednesday where the weather has been interesting as usual here in Busan. We're coming to you live from BEFM 90.5 here in Busan. And it's, I hope you're enjoying the day wherever you are. It's been a weird one. The rain has been on and off. But yes, it's going to be like that for a bit, I suppose. Of course, we're broadcasting on 103.3 FM. Also, if you're in Gijang, Jeongwon, and Noksan areas, and in Seoul, if you're listening to us in Seoul, we're on TBS EFM 101.3 FM. And in Gwangju, we're broadcasting on GFN 98.7 FM. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you might be today. If you're joining us on the YouTube as well, all you have to do, if you don't know already, just search BEFM. Or Busan영어방송 there, and you can see us streaming live. There I am. Hi, that's me. I do want to let you know, however, there is a music copyright issue with streaming, so we can't, we'll have the songs muted when we play them live here. So the songs will be muted when it's streamed on YouTube. But of course, you can listen to the show entirely uninterrupted on FM radio. Or if you go to the App Store on your phone, you can download our smartphone app. Just search BEFM or 부산영어방송 there, and you can listen to the show in its entirety. You can also contact us, send us some comments, let us know how you're doing today. It's, I walked quite a long way to the station today, and it was like, I brought an umbrella with me. I was carrying it for rain purposes, and then I was like, oh man, the sun's out. So I had to shield myself from the rays of the sun. I got to protect this dome up here. Got to keep it safe. So I was using my umbrella as like a sun umbrella. What is that, a parasol? So yeah, it's definitely been an interesting day today, and it's only going to get more interesting. We've got a lot for you on the show today. In hour number one, we've got Hot Off the Press coming up first. This is where we introduce 2 new songs every day that have been recently released and give you some background information about the songs and the artists. And also, because today is Wednesday, we've got Jimmy coming in for All Around Busan. Jimmy comes in every Wednesday to introduce one of the various dongs in Busan's 16 different districts. And I'm curious which one it's going to be today. It's the middle of summer, right? We're already well into summer here. Where's it going to be? We'll find out when Jimmy comes in a little bit. And then in hour number 2, I was talking at the top of the show about water being a way to entertain yourself, right? A lot of people love to go play in the water in the summer, but also, being outside is key, right? And these things kind of go hand in hand. There are a lot of festivals that happen, especially in the summertime, but there are all kinds of interesting festivals that take place all across the world. For our today's daily list, we're going to actually talk about the 9 best climate-forward festivals in 2024. So it's not just an entertaining festival, but it's also one that is taking climate and climate change into account. So there are 9 of those out there. We'll see which ones you might want to check out. And also, because today is Wednesday, we do Inside Korea on Wednesdays. We talk about some news, some events, perhaps some culture that's happening here in South Korea where we live to get an idea of what's going on here. And one of the stories we're going to talk about today is actually about a water-related festival that's going to be taking place all over Korea. And there is some slight controversy about that. So we'll talk about that today. And since we're talking about festivals and summer, I was thinking about it. There's a lot of summer festivals that take place not only in Korea, but in other countries as well. So for my question of the day, I want to know what summer festival you want to attend. 어떤 여름 축제에 가고 싶나요? So there's so many. The one that I think I will talk about later in Inside Korea, I'm curious. It's going to come to Busan as well. I want to check it out. So we'll see. I'll let you know about that one in a little bit for sure. But if you have any summer festivals that you've always been like, yes, whether it's like a music festival, there are plenty of those, or it's just like a kind of like local culture and entertainment festival, there are so many of those as well. There are a few coming up soon for sure that I would like to check out. So if you have one in mind particularly that you would like to share, send us a message at 샵9050 or pound 9050 for 101. Or you can reach us for free if you go to the Kakao Talk app. Just search BEFM or 부산영어방송. Add us there. You can send us a message for free. And as I mentioned before, if you go to the App Store on your phone, we have our very own smartphone app. You can download, all you have to do is search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and then you can log in, leave us a message, say hi, let me know what kind of summer festival you want to check out. And also, you can listen to our show wherever you go. Just put us in your pocket. Go for a walk while the sun is not out again. I don't know. It looks a little muggy out there again, a little hazy. Little cloudy. I don't know. The weather's been weird today. So let me know if there's a particular summer festival you're looking forward to attending or just really want to go to someday. And we're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Someone Who's Trying by the band Camino, and then we'll be back with Hot Off the Press. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard Someone Who's Trying by the band Camino, and now it is time for Hot Off the Press. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. We bring you two of the newest, hottest tracks from around the world of music, and there are so many songs released all the time, right? But we try to pick two that we think you'll really enjoy, and we've got two for you today for sure. The first song is Time by Olivia Dean, and this is her new single nearly a year after her breakout debut album called Messy. And 2024 has been pretty successful for Olivia so far. She's got 3 Brit Award nominations, a debut performance at the Coachella Festival, a European and a UK tour, which include 3 sold-out dates at London's Hammersmith Apollo, also a performance at Radio 1's Big Weekend, and performances at Glastonbury and Japan's Summer Sonic, as well as her first festival headline slot at Love Supreme Festival. So many festivals, right? A lot of, every year, there's tons of music festivals that go on in the summer, and it looks like Olivia Dean is enjoying some of that. So that'll be our first song. Our second song is Oh Honey by Chubby Cat, which is a very cute name. Chubby Cat is actually an Irish alternative electropop artist, and she has unveiled her latest single called Oh Honey. And in a statement about the song, she says, "Oh Honey delves into my struggles with relationships and trust. I've always been cautious with dating, and the lyrics reflect the chaos in my mind when I overthink things." And Chubby Cat actually hails from Cork and has roots in Dublin and London, but is now based in Belfast. And she has definitely carved her own niche with her distinctive style. And Chubby Cat's rise is marked not only by her musical talent, but also by her fierce independence and her experimental music approach. And you know what? They always say that about cats. Cats are very fierce and independent. So Chubby Cat is no exception. So our 2 songs for Hot Off the Press today, we've got Time by Olivia Dean, followed by Oh Honey by Chubby Cat. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard Oh Honey by Chubby Cat, and before that you heard Time by Olivia Dean, and those were our two songs for Hot Off the Press for today. And I gotta admit, I was enjoying that Olivia Dean song quite a lot. That's usually not my style of music, but I really like that. So I was kind of looking up about her a little bit during the break there. So she's got a lot going on, very busy, a lot of festivals she'll be attending. So perhaps that could be one of the summer festivals you want to attend. She was at, Summer Sonic, they said, in Japan. She's got a headline slot at the Love Supreme Festival, Radio 1's Big Weekend, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Coachella Festival. She's been all over the place. Got to be cool, right? If you're a successful artist and they're like, hey, why don't you come play with us here? And they treat you well at a festival. Let me tell you, I've experienced it once. Good food. And they they show you respect. I like it. So my question of the day is, what summer festival do you want to attend? 어떤 여름 축제에 가고 싶나요? So I was just thinking, I was looking through, perusing, seeing what kind of festivals we got going on here locally. There's definitely a few I would like to check out. One of them being the Busan International Kids and Youth Film Festival. I don't let my kids watch movies at home yet, but I figure they're kind of young. But this might be a good chance to kind of get them out and experience what cinema is like with other kids. I think that sounds like a really cool event. And that's actually starting today. Oh, yes, July 10th, running through the weekend, through the 14th. Cool. And if you're not familiar, that's at the Busan Cinema Center. And there's a lot more information if you go to biky.or.kr. So that's one I was like, oh, yeah, maybe my kids could go to that one. Another one we got coming up here locally is the Busan Sea Festival. That'll be taking place at Dadipo Beach. It's just a fun place to hang out anyway. But from July 26th to July 28th, they're going to have the Busan Sea Festival. I see in the pictures, it looks like they're going to have musical performances. It can't be a festival without some kind of music, right? You got to have the music. And of course, a little bit later, outside of Busan, if you want to head up to Incheon, this is one I've lived here for 18 years. I've never been to the Pentaport Rock Festival. I feel like tears welling up in my eyes right now. I want to go. I think maybe this year could be the year. It looks like it's going to take place August 2nd through August 4th. That's before my new semester starts. It's coming up before you know it, right? That's basically like less than a month. And that is a huge rock festival, but all kinds of artists as well. Not just rock and roll, not just the loud stuff. It's a variety of genres, a variety of artists. Yes, I will think about making it up there. It's not that far. It's not that far away. Incheon, come on. I could drive that, perhaps on a motorcycle. Maybe. I don't know. That's a long ride on a motorcycle. And then one of my dream ones, this will be taking place in Japan, July 26th through July 28th, the Fuji Rock Festival. That is one I've always wanted to go to and just never made it happen. Could this be the year? Perhaps. There's always an amazing lineup, the headliners especially, but even the bands that you never even heard of. They definitely do a great job curating that festival as well. One day. So those, you can probably see, I'm definitely heavy into the music-related festivals, but film festivals are great too, and that's one of my things about living in Busan. We have a variety of film festivals here. That's something you don't get in every city. So I'm curious what kind of festival you would like to attend, perhaps this summer for real, or do you have plans to, or, just would it be a nice festival in your dreams, something you want to go to? So Neil Nim also saying, I want to go to any summer music festival in Korea. There are a few, right? By the way, the Incheon one is just one of them. So there's quite a few out there you could attend. So let me know what summer festival you want to go to. You can send us a message here at shop 9050 or pound 9050 for 101. You could reach us for free on Kakao Talk if you just search BEFM or Busan영어방송. Send us a message for free after you add us there. Or you can go to your app store on your phone. You can search BEFM or Busan영어방송. Guess what? We got our own smartphone app. You can download that, log in, send us some comments, and you can take us wherever you want to go. You want to go for a walk and listen to the radio? Come on, we got you back. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Jimmy and All Around Busan. That was a quick break. And Jimmy is
was a
here,
quick
like
break,
magic.
yeah.
Like magic, he's here.
Ta-da.
He's here every Wednesday. Jimmy's here for All Around Busan, and I'm happy to have you in the studio on this weird weather Wednesday. Is that what should we call it?
Yeah.
What's it like out there now?
Right now, it's a
No rain?
bit humid, but no rain.
The rain has stopped for now, but humid.
Yeah, humid.
So it's moisture wherever you go, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But like, I'm also thankful because it's supposed to be raining every single day because due to the rainy season.
Right.
But then as you know, for the past few days, just rains hard, stops,
Right.
sun shines, and just heavy rains again. It's just, yeah.
It's been weird, right?
Right.
And I think tomorrow, the last I saw tomorrow, it looks like there's supposed to be no rain tomorrow. So I'm knock on wood. I'm hoping for that to hold steady. But yeah, I don't know. It's
Nice.
weird. Like every day is like a surprise. What's it gonna be today?
I know.
Right?
Despite the rain, I mean, as you know, I always take you guys on a journey of introducing all these different neighborhoods.
That's right. Good
which
segue.
is located in different district. But then, Casey, where, especially during this season
Yeah.
in Busan, which spot or which neighborhood do you think where it could be like the most crowded of people and
Most
also
crowded.
like international, visitors?
Okay, so you threw me two keywords there: crowded plus international.
Easy, right?
I'm gonna say, are we going to Haeundae today?
Yes, obvious. Yes.
All right, but good timing because Haeundae Beach just opened. What was that, last Monday?
Yeah.
Or no, Haeundae actually opened a little bit earlier, right? They opened
1st of
typically-
July, wasn't it? Kind
Yeah,
of.
I think there's a couple beaches that open a little earlier than the other ones. Haeundae did open a little bit earlier because I sent my friends there.
Oh, really?
I sent them. I couldn't go.
You didn't go, but you just like let them go.
I did meet them there later, so that's not a complete cheat. But yes, I was
All
like,
right.
okay, because in case you're unaware, I've talked about this quite a few times on the air. I did have some friends visiting from another country for a couple weeks, and Jimmy helped me out a lot. Like every Wednesday, I was like, all right, Jimmy, where am I going to send them? Where am I sending them next? And Haeundae was one of the places they already wanted to go
Right.
to because everybody knows Haeundae, right?
For sure.
But I'm sure there's a lot we don't know about Haeundae.
Of course. And also, even when we think of Haeundae, there's
Yeah.
actually a lot of dongs, which in like different parts of neighborhoods.
Right.
So this time in particular, I'm taking you guys to Udon.
Udon.
Yeah,
Sounds delicious.
that's
Sounds delicious.
Well, we are not talking about noodles here,
Oh,
but
it's not
anyways,
noodles.
yeah, there is a neighborhood. It's named Udon, Haeundae-gu Udon.
All right,
But
okay.
probably most of you listeners and, including Casey yourself, we all know this place because this place actually consists Haeundae Beach.
So the beach is part of Udon.
Yes.
I did not know that.
And Dongbek-sum, Dongbek Island.
okay.
And when you think of Dongbek-sum, what's inside of Dongbek-sum? There is a APEC house.
Oh yeah, right. I was thinking
Right?
trees and flowers. Right, because there's a lot of there's a nice walking path around the
Right.
island. I was like, there's a lot of trees and flowers, and of
Right.
course that APEC. What is it called? What's the full title? APEC.
APEC house.
APEC House.
Right, right.
Which is a really just interesting design for a
Right.
building.
Nurimaru APEC house. That's
There you
the
go.
full name.
Full
And
title.
Also, have you ever been to Heridankil?
I don't think so.
Really?
It sounds familiar though. Heridangi. Can you describe it a
It's
little?
on the opposite side of the beach side from the Haeundae station. Right.
Is that part of that new kind of walking
Yeah, there's
area?
an alley full of brunch restaurants and Japanese cuisine, Chinese cuisine, everything all combined together. It's a neighborhood, but many people actually goes there to check out some desserts and coffee and
Right.
food. Yeah.
Is
That's
it-
what we call Heridankil.
Is that was it formerly part of the train station that has been converted? Is that where I'm thinking of, or is that a different place?
Well, that used to be just nothing but a neighborhood itself. But
okay.
then, they started to through the redevelopment project,
Right.
they kind of started to have all those restaurants and made it as those shopping district.
Okay.
So
cool.
many people, and then it's really really convenient from the Busan station.
Right.
I just
Subway station,
Yeah,
that is,
subway
right?
station.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I just cannot clearly remember which exit, but then from one of the exits from the subway station of Haeundae, it's a walking distance that will probably gonna take you less than 5 minutes.
I think I've got it in my mind. I got a message as well. I got a note here. BEFM is also, we're at Udon. This is Udon here as well?
Yeah, you didn't know, man.
See, you can live in a place for a long time and not know a lot. So Jimmy is a constant reminder. Every Wednesday,
Yeah.
Jimmy's like, you didn't know this?
That's why you need me and I need you.
Yes.
That's why we're a team.
That's right. That's right. So Jimmy's here to teach me a lot about where I live. Right. And if you don't live here, this is great information as well. I was just thinking, the reason I was thinking about the old train tracks being converted, because if you're not familiar with Haeundae, the Haeundae subway station, one side of the street when you get on the exit, there's actually the original old train station there that's still standing. And I think it's been converted into like a small museum.
Oh, yeah. So Haeundae is right behind of
it.
that.
That's what I thought. Okay, I'm on the right page.
Right.
It just takes me a while to get there.
So yeah, just to kind of like reorganize this to a sentences to let you guys have an easy understanding.
Yeah.
It's actually a district where it has a stunning beach and a luxurious high-rise buildings, and Udon is actually a blend of natural beauty and modernity.
For sure.
Yeah.
And because like when you said high-rise buildings, like those buildings are high, right? Like those are some of the tallest ones in Busan, I imagine, right?
It is.
And so that Udon is probably like a really big district then, or a big neighborhood within the district, right?
Right.
So if I were to look on a map, I think I've got it in my, because if it includes our radio station here, all the way over there to where the beach is, that's a huge area.
It is.
Gotcha. And it sounds delicious. I keep hearing udon, and I'm like,
And it's like one of those prime location for both residents and also tourists.
yeah, because there's a lot to do, obviously, if you go to the beach. But there's, right down here, there's also Suyong River. I'm assuming that's close
Right.
to Udon, and there's a lot to do there as well. Yeah, there's just like tons to do in this area. There's mountains nearby as well,
For sure.
right?
Yeah,
so
Cheongsan.
anything you want. Is Jangsan part of Udon as well? Or it's close.
No, that's close. I think that's considered as Chadong.
Jwadong.
Yeah.
Ujwa.
Yeah.
It is all coming into place. So U means right and Jwa means left.
Left.
I
Yeah.
always get confused when I'm in a taxi and the taxi driver asks me, Jajok? And I'm like, let me think about that. Let me raise my hand. So yeah, okay. So in other words, like Udong would be like the eastern, I guess, section, the right on the
Right.
side of the right, and Jwadong would be like the western kind of on the left, if you want to think about it geographically.
Right.
Cool. Okay. But again, so there's a lot to do within this area. And like as you say, prime location for sure. And you know it when you get into the area,
Oh, for sure.
right? Like you can feel like, oh, this is a little different here, right? And I remember actually the first time I came to Busan as a traveler on a motorcycle from near Seoul, I took my bike from all the way near there down to here in a one-day trip.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
It was. You should gradually work yourself into it because the seats get uncomfortable after a few hours.
Right,
So just
right.
note to self.
True.
Yeah, don't do it again without exercising in advance, stretching. But yeah, one of the first places I arrived in Busan, I don't know how, but it was the Haeundae area. And I was like, oh, this is different. Like I definitely had that. And this was way back when. So now, yes, definitely prime location for
Even
sure.
back then, it was easily recognizable, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
What are some of like the main attractions that people might want to check out?
Yeah, amongst all those good and popular locations, I would just like to pinpoint out major two. One, we cannot resist. It's a Haeundae Beach.
Okay.
Right.
And that's why everybody goes, right?
I
To be
know.
honest.
I
Right.
know. One of the most famous attraction in Udon is actually the beach area, Haeundae
Right.
Beach, and this is arguably the most popular and well-known beach in South Korea.
Right.
And I agree with that, actually.
Yeah, and you can see it like in the middle of the summer, you can just see how many people are out there and it's like, whoa. If you can see it from above, like if you go up to like Dalmaji-gil, for example,
for sure.
and look down, it's just like, wow, that's a crowd of people down there.
So yeah, it's actually, I've seen many people, even as for local residents, they actually take a long walk and exercise from Dalmaji Hill area all the way to the Marine City.
Right.
That takes less than an hour. So that's actually a good
that's a good walk.
exercise.
That's a really good walk,
Yeah,
for
as
sure.
for a round trip, probably like 1 hour and a half. But
Right.
just a one way, that's about 40 minutes.
Wow,
if
okay.
I'm not wrong. Well, depending on like how fast you walk.
Yeah,
But yeah,
totally
less
depends
than
on
an
you.
hour.
Right, for sure. But yeah, that's a great route to take for sure. Like it's a beautiful scenic route along all the whole way. You can see the whole beach from from Dalmaji-gil. If you're not familiar, it's like a kind of a big hill basically that's close to Haeundae, and just a really easy place to walk with a lot of sidewalks and a lot of trees to keep you out of the sun. which
Yeah.
I like. I need that.
Yeah.
Take a look. I need that.
And right before we actually started this segment, you were actually mentioning about those few major festivals.
Yeah.
And especially here in Haeundae Beach, there are a lot of festivals are going on, especially during this period of time.
Right.
So don't miss it out. And then you can also search on those major portal sites. And they also held those cultural events and also like sometimes night markets too. So
Nice.
yeah, everybody loves to go to that square, the Kunamlo-gil, right?
Which is basically from the subway station all the way to the beach, right?
Right.
Straight, like a straight shot.
Yeah.
which is such an easy way to walk and to enjoy your walk to the beach.
For sure.
Well, I tell you what, Jimmy, this is a great place to stop. We're gonna because we've started with the main event that a lot of
Yeah.
people know for Haeundae Beach, but there's a lot more to come. We're gonna take a song break and listen to "Wings of Time" by Tame Impala, and then we'll be back with Jimmy and All Around Busan. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. And of course, that was Tame Impala with Wings of Time again. And we're back with Jimmy and All Around Busan. Before the song break, we were talking about the main event of udon, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and the reason a lot of people go there, which is Haeundae Beach. And that is a big attraction. There's a Haeundae train station. There's a Haeundae subway station. A lot of people just know that name. But
Right.
there's a lot more to udon than that, right?
For sure. I mean, Udon, there is a Marine City, and then on the way to go to the Marine City, you actually have to stop at this island, which we all know, Dongbaeksum. Dongbek
locally we
Island.
know, right?
As you know, like I was really, really surprised because Dongbaeksum to me
Yeah.
was just one of those places where many residents actually go there for an exercise.
Every day, all day, right? You see
You know
people
what I
out
mean,
there,
right?
For sure.
But one time I was really, really surprised because I used to go there at nighttime for just, to get some cool breeze and just walk. And even I sweat a lot. I mean, it's still like on the evening, so I can just go home and take a shower and take a rest. But
Right.
then, starting from like last year, I just feel like going there like early in the morning.
Oh, you changed.
Around 9 to 10. But what it surprised me was they were already full of people.
Right.
And I'm like, what is this? And a lot of package tour international tourists. That's one of the main location where they just take a one round trip of walk to check out that APEC house and maybe like climb all the way up to that place where they have like those statues.
On Dongbek itself, yeah, right.
So I was really surprised.
It's kind of like, maybe it's a little hard to describe, but it's basically like a tiny island that's connected. You know, probably used to be an island, but it's definitely connected to the land now. And it's got like it's a very kind of sharp, hill incline. And it's just, so if you want to get some good exercise, it's a great place to go for that reason. And I was curious, do you know, can anybody actually just go in and visit the APAC house? You don't need a reservation. You can just walk in, or?
I don't think. Yeah, you can. I think it's just a walking. Of course, there are staffs.
Right.
But you don't really
like,
have to make some kind of reservation in advance.
Because it's a cool place to just check out.
Except maybe those group of tourists.
Right,
like
okay.
package tour, maybe. But other than that, yeah, so I highly recommend you guys. And for those of you who get to bump into me while I'm exercising, just say hi to me because I go there often. Yeah.
So you've switched your routine. You used to be every night, but now you're every morning.
Every morning.
It's like 9 to 10.
Yeah, 9 to 10.
And it's always packed.
Always packed.
Interesting. And I bet there's probably people out there at like sunrise. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's probably people who just like get up that early and just go check it out because it's probably a nice place to watch the sunrise as well.
True.
Right?
True.
It's just like there's a beautiful, right next to the APAC house, there's just like kind of a beautiful place where it extends out into the water.
Yeah.
And you get really nice views of the city from there.
Yeah.
Right? So highly recommend it. Just nice to walk around.
Yeah, just to let you guys know a little, just to give you guys a brief explanation about this APEC house.
Yeah.
It is a home to the Nurimaru APEC house, a conference hall used during the 2005 APEC summit.
That's why they established it.
Yeah, the island is a peaceful retreat from, bustling city. So for those of you who's only checking out the Haeundae Beach, you can just take a little bit of a walk in
It's
extra.
not far, yeah.
It's not far at all.
Right, yeah, right.
And then there is also a parking lot right aside from it. So if you want to go and check it out, you can also visit.
And there's a couple cool hangout spots nearby. There's a restaurant nearby. There's like a boat cruise that I always see like taking off with people nearby.
Right.
So there's like things to do there as well.
True.
Right?
And that's also a walking distance from Dongbek, Dongbek subway station too.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that's right. Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Not that far. Yeah, not that far. So, yeah, for those of you who's taking public transportation, you can just get off at Dongbek subway station and just take a little bit of a walk and go to Marine City or check out Dongbek Island.
You might be surprised when you get outside of Dongbek some station because it's a very residential area. You'd be like, oh, I'm in the wrong spot. But no, you just have to go a little bit, face the beach. Smell the ocean and follow that smell of the salt water. It's really close. It's closer than you would think.
For sure.
Yeah. So if you don't want to like get mixed in with the crowds in Haeundae, if you want to be a little bit off the beaten path a bit, yeah, that's a good spot to get out.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah.
So have you been there recently? Have you had any experiences there recently?
I mean, as you know, like right before the rainy season started, I used to go there almost every single day for an exercise and just grab a cup of coffee and take some rest. Walking slowly and get some sunshine. So, yeah, I also love to go there. And then, yeah, from either Haeundae Station or Dongbek Station, either way, you have a lot of things to check out. So, yeah, that's kind of my routine and a place where I could just go in time to time.
I feel like I'm getting hungry. Yes. So, and actually, that's a good reminder. Yeah, it's Dongbek Station. I was thinking Dongbek some station. No,
it's a Dongbek Station, line 2.
Right. Yeah. So, and it's like maybe 2 stops away from Haeundae, if I recall right. But it's very close.
Right.
Cool. So yeah, that's a good reminder as well. Dongbek Station is right.
Dongbek Station.
Yok.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, 맞습니다. Okay, cool. So what else have you done recent there? But besides exercising, have you done anything else recently there?
Whenever I go to Gunamlo Street, I always crave for 돼지국밥.
You know what? That's my stomach knew it was coming. My stomach was like,
yeah, as soon as I heard that, I just was thinking like, should I just keep introducing food? But I'm just going to go for it.
I had lunch today. I don't know what my problem is. But yes, I guess I could sense 돼지국밥 was in the air. And that is like one of my favorite things to eat all year long. Doesn't matter. Hot weather, cold weather, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll eat it any day.
It's one of the main dish that you must try when you come and visit any part of the city in Busan.
Right.
But especially when you come to Haeundae, there are numerous 돼지국밥 restaurants.
Oh, true.
Especially on Gunamro Street and even elsewhere too. So you can just easily, enter one of those popular restaurants here.
Is Gunamro, does that bring you to where the big market is?
Yeah, Haeundae Market. Yes,
Okay.
that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I just pictured you said there's a bunch of 돼지국밥, and I was like, oh yes. I just pictured like 5 of them.
Right.
Right, there's a bunch of them there, so you could try a different 돼지국밥 restaurant like every day.
For
You
sure.
go Monday restaurant, Tuesday restaurant. Yeah, there's quite a few over there.
And for those of you who's not really interested in just eating soup, you can also check out those pork slices of suyuk
Oh, I love
and
that.
other like sundae, other menus too. So
Right.
don't just resist of going to a 돼지국밥 restaurant itself.
Right, if you're like, I've had enough 돼지국밥, there are other things they have as well.
Right.
And that's how I judge a 돼지국밥 restaurant. I judge it by its sundae. Because I'm a sundae 국밥 kind
Yeah,
of guy.
sundae-국밥 lover.
Yeah, for sure. Like they got good sundae, I'm in.
Wow.
The sundae's like questionable, I'm like, I'll pass.
Wow. Yeah, we have things in common. Yeah, I usually go for sundae-국밥 too.
It's good. I don't know why. It's just my favorite. So yeah,
Nice.
actually, and we mentioned briefly Haeundae Market. Cool. So what other things can people see at Haeundae Market?
Oh, Haeundae Market, they actually have also a lot of raw fish and grilled seafood restaurants as well.
Right.
And all these ajumma all like calling your name.
어서오세요.
Like, yeah.
Oiso saiso.
Right. So yeah, 보이소 오이소 사이소.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
So yeah, if you want to try out some of those seafood, grilled, raw, like any type of seafood, and even broth, the stew, you can also check out this place.
You know, actually, I don't know the name, and I couldn't tell you anyway. But there's daegutang that I used to go eat all the time down in that area.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, cod soup, and it's just like really good. It's good for your soul.
That's my favorite.
It's good, right? Yeah. There was a place right around that area. I used to always get daegutang.
Now you're making me hungry.
See, It's payback.
Yeah,
It's
payback. That's a payback.
But cool. So yeah, there's a lot to see there, right? So what did you do? Did you spend some time there recently where you did like a full day or anything like that?
Yeah, I usually just spend the full time there because there's a lot of eateries out there, and then you can just grab some of those finger snacks, especially like 튀김 and tteokbokki too.
Sure.
Yeah, and they also have a movie theater there, so I can either just go out to the beach area and have fun, and yeah, I have a lot of things and memories. there.
Awesome. So udon, not to be forgotten, right? It's not just about Haeundae Beach. There's a lot right around the area nearby, right?
Yep.
And Jimmy, thank you so much for coming in again for All Around Busan on this Wednesday. And of course, you'll be back next week.
For sure. I'll come back next week.
Awesome. And we're looking forward to that. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to Popular by The Weeknd, Madonna, and Playboi Carti. And then we'll be back at 3 p.m.
Your bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Electric kickboards and electric bicycles are common on the streets these days. With the increased use of personal mobility devices, the number of accidents and deaths have reportedly increased significantly.
Personal Mobility Patrol Mode.
I don't need to wear a safety helmet because I'm only riding a short distance.
Wear a safety helmet. When you drive your personal mobility devices, you have to wear a safety helmet.
Hey, I rented an electric kickboard. Let's ride it together.
Okay, you drive in the front, I'll get in the back.
Follow the number of passengers. Only one person can ride an electric kickboard and electric wheel parallel car.
Follow the rules of personal mobility devices and drive safely. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
The time is now 3 o'clock.
p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. We just kicked off the second hour of the show with Love You Like I Never Loved Before by John O'Banion. And if you've never heard that song, it was a hit single in 1981 by John O'Banion from his self-titled album, and it made it to number 24 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, number 32 in Canada, and up to number 51 in Australia. O'Banion was born in Kokomo, Indiana in 1947 and was performing in theater by the age of 13, as well as in a local Indiana band called Hog, Honda, and the Chain Guards. Who comes up with these names? It's a good name. I guess especially if you're that young. That's well done. By age 15, he actually hosted his own radio show on WIOU and had hosted his own local television show by age 20. So John O'Banion, someone destined to be in the media there. Welcome back to the program, everybody. You're listening to us live on this Wednesday at BEFM 90.5 in Busan and 103.3 FM in Gijang, Jeongwon, and Noksan areas. In Seoul, we're broadcasting on TBS EFM 101.3 FM, and in Gwangju, we're on GFN 98.7 FM. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you might be today. Hello to Shalala and everyone out there listening on the tubes as well. We've got a lot for you this show left. Still in hour number 2, we're going to have our daily list for today. Our daily list is all about festivals. And sometimes festivals can be really exciting, a memorable experience, and then they leave behind tons of waste and garbage. So if you've ever been to a festival and then you see the end of it and you're like, oh, wow, we destroyed this place. I've got a good list for you. Today's list are 9 best climate-forward festivals taking place in 2024. A lot of these are taking place in the United States, but it's just kind of an interesting look at what other ideas festivals do have and what they're aiming to do besides just have a good time and try not to make a mess while they're at it. So that'll be it for our daily list for today. And also we've got Inside Korea coming up. This is what we do every Wednesday and Thursday. We talk about some stories or events or a little bit of culture that's happening here in South Korea. It's all kind of connected today. It's all connected to culture and events and news because one of the stories that has come out recently is about a festival that is going to be taking place all over Korea this summer. And there is a slight controversy concerning the festival and perhaps whether it is something sustainable or not. So, with that being said, we're also going to have our perfect playlist for today. We've had, for this week, our theme of best cover songs. We've got some really good cover songs coming up for you today as well. And today's question of the day, what summer festival would you like to attend? And I was thinking, I saw on a couple of these lists about, sustainable, eco-friendly. The Glastonbury Festival has been mentioned quite a bit. I think that one already passed. That's one takes place in the UK. I think that already recently went by. I'm actually pretty sure. Somebody was talking about that as well. One of my friends who's really into music, and I think that just happened, last June. Okay, so at the end of June that took place. But the Glastonbury Festival has been one that's been mentioned as being, despite, a huge event full of tons of people and tons of music and using tons of electricity, progressively each time getting better at being more eco-friendly and more climate conscious. So Glastonbury would definitely be on my list of festivals to check out someday. I would love to. There's always been some kind of artists that I really enjoy who have headlined or have even been support acts. So for sure, Glastonbury would be on my list. So let me know what summer festival you would like to attend. 어떤 여름 축제에 가고 싶나요? It could be something here local in Busan, like I mentioned, the Busan Sea Festival coming up soon, or it could be something where it's a dream trip to another country. Let me know. I'm curious what other kinds of festivals people would be into. You can reach us here at shop 9050 or pound 9050 for 100 won. You can reach us for free on KakaoTalk if you search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and you can add us and send us a message there. Also, you can reach us through the smartphone app if you just search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in any of the app stores that might be on your phone, and then you can log in, leave us a comment, and also take us with you on the go. You can listen to our program anywhere you want to go. So think about it. Let me know what summer festival you would like to go to. And we're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Mama Couldn't Be Persuaded by Warren Zevon, and then we'll be back with today's daily list. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. We just heard Mama Couldn't Be Persuaded by Warren Zevon, and now it is time for our daily list. And today's daily list is all about festivals, but the responsible kind. Because a lot of times we have festivals that we love to attend, whether they're in the summertime or fall or spring, whenever they might be, and they make a big mess. And they take a lot of electricity to run things, and they take a lot of money, and perhaps that's not the most sustainable way to do things. So there are other festivals out there that are actually doing things in a very responsible way. So there's a list of 9 best climate-forward festivals in 2024. What does that mean, climate forward? Well, basically, they're considering the environment when they put these festivals together. And a lot of times, the environment is the theme of these festivals. And, of course, do they have music? Probably. Do they have arts and performances that you can watch? Of course. So you can actually go enjoy yourself, have a great time. But also these festivals have a mission to teach people about the world as it is changing and what we can do to perhaps make it better. So these are really cool things you could check out. A lot of these do take place in the United States, but they could serve as perhaps an example to things we can do or how we can do things in other places as well. The first one on the list is called The Great Northern, and this actually already took place this year. This was in Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota. It took place in the winter, and if you've never been to a winter festival, you're not alone. I have not either. So I've always wanted to go to, there's a famous winter festival that takes place in Sapporo in Japan, right? So I've always wanted to check that out. So perhaps maybe someday I'll get the chance to do that. Or I could go check out one in Minnesota. And what are they going to do there? They actually have a mission to teach us the importance of winter and how to protect it as temperatures rise. Do we need winter? Apparently we do. And if you don't like mosquitoes, winter is like the best time of year, right? So one way that they can communicate the urgency of climate change to a lot of people at one time, have creative programming. So the Great Northern Festival this year, the idea is to celebrate cultural and environmental importance of winter in Minnesota. So they had actually 50 events that took place this year. They ranged from all kinds of things, including a village of saunas. That sounds really good in the wintertime, right? And also a 100-foot-long outdoor bar. There you go. So this is the kind of festival that does serve alcohol, so it's probably maybe not the best to bring the kids to, unless you've got somebody responsible watching them. But there are a lot of interesting things to get adults engaged in learning about the environment. And they said, according to the executive director, she said she was particularly excited about something called the Last Supper, which was cooked by a celebrity chef named Sam Cass, and the idea was to use ingredients at risk of disappearing as global temperatures rise. What ingredients might that be? Because, oh dear, my tummy was rumbling before when I was talking to Jimmy. I worry about food a lot. What could disappear? They had on the menu chocolate, chickpeas, and more. So some really common things that people enjoy, and that's a really interesting way to kind of teach people, we don't want to miss these, right? Present what could disappear in the future. Could you have a future without chocolate? I don't think I could. I don't know. And chickpeas, I don't know. If you're not a fan of chickpeas, try hummus. It's wonderful. It's amazing what chickpeas can be turned into. So that's one of these festivals that has already passed, but very climate forward, climate responsible, and something we can kind of learn from. Seasonal festivals could teach us what is important about that particular season they take place in. Number 2 on the list is the Old Salt Festival. And by title alone, you might be like, salt? Okay. Well, this took place in Helmsville, Montana. The 2023 event was in June, so probably this one just passed as well. But this is something that happens in Montana. It's basically the initiative of the Old Salt Co-op, which is an association of generations of ranchers who want to, quote unquote, do for meat what microbreweries have done for beer, according to the event founder. So they promote regenerative animal agriculture, and they process meats that are sold through a restaurant and an online shop. So salt being used probably for curing, I imagine, right? If you've never had a cured salted meat. Oh man, it can be really delicious. So one part of this festival that makes it so eco-friendly is community, working with the local community, also local sourcing. And according to the event founder, Cole Mannix, community, he's not only including his own neighbors down the street, but also the non-human ecological world as well. He envisions a society where everything, down to the shirt on his back, is locally sourced. And he says it's not easy to do regenerative agriculture. It's a whole societal shift. We have to completely remake ourselves. And that includes all of us, not just the customers, but the producers, the whole supply chain. And he says, I don't really know how to talk about that other than just spend 3 days together and immerse ourselves in a beautiful place. So again, it's kind of like picking a time of year to get people together to talk about really important things, but also, have fun at the same time, right? So very cool. And he says, this is one of those things you just can't do in a conference room. You need space for it. So being outdoors is probably key to that as well. Here we go. Next up, number 3, Happy Valley, Oregon has the Pick-a-thon. And Pick-a-thon sounds like something you might, one of those little machines where you have the little toy bunnies in there where you have to grab it with the claw. It's not that. This one took place in August last year, so it's scheduled to take place in August this year. It's upcoming. The idea for this one, they want to create a model of a truly green festival. And every festival requires so much energy, so that everything from lights to light shows to sound systems to food vendors. The average festival emitted approximately 2,500 tons of carbon in 2019, according to one company that tracks these kinds of emissions. A whopping 41% of those emissions come simply from the attendees traveling to those events. So that's another thing to consider. Do you want to go to events far away? Well, you might have to take a plane, right? And that's carbon emissions, right? So Pick-a-thon, they had this idea to have an indie music festival outside of Portland, Oregon. They chose a site only a 40-minute drive from the city, and they incentivize attendees to use bikes or public transportation. Pick-a-thon was also the first festival to utilize solar arrays. So in 2023, they were selected by a car maker to be the first to use this company's hydrogen fuel cell generator. So they, from everything, from transportation to actually powering the event, they thought, how can we leave as little of a carbon footprint as possible? And this festival was actually founded in 1999. It's kind of become an experiment in eco-friendly festivals, and it can kind of seem radical compared to the industry standard, but the idea is to have something that other festivals can kind of replicate and look at and say like, look how they're doing this, we can do this for our festival too. So for example, they actually build the stages between the trees of a forest, and the materials are reused every year. So like nothing goes to waste. They've got something called the Tree Line Stage. It's designed by architecture students at local Portland State University. And it kind of is made to look like a lattice of blooming plants and will be repurposed for an outdoor classroom afterwards, right? So everything will be used. Nothing will be thrown away. So really interesting way of looking at making festivals there in Oregon. At number 4, down in Nashville, Tennessee, we've got something called the Deep Tropics. And the mission of this one is to show how electronic festivals can also go green too. So if you're thinking the previous one was like indie music, and you might think, okay, maybe they don't need to use so much electricity. They can maybe do acoustic sets. They can maybe not use the hugest loud sound systems. But for an electronic festival to go green, that seems... How is that going to be possible? They need the lights. They need those booming sound systems, right? Well, this one actually is giving Pick-a-thon a run for its money. The Deep Tropics Festival in Tennessee claims to be the greenest music festival in the United States. And that's pretty impressive for an EDM festival where DJs sit on stages in front of, those multiple movie theater-sized screens, flashing the visuals. Everything has to be clear and loud. But they pull it off. How do they do it? According to their event website, they recycle, they use composting, they minimize single-use plastic, and they build insta-ready art with sustainable materials. And they also plant trees to offset the carbon. So the organizers divert 93% of the festival's waste from landfills and create more energy than they consume. So they're actually generating energy out there. So that could be a pretty achievable goal if you think about it. If you get the funds to set up all these things that you need to generate energy and you can produce more than you need for your festival, that's a pretty cool way to be like, hey, we're not wasting things here. Number 5 takes place in Alaska, in Ninilchik, Alaska, and this is called the Sacred Acre. This one also was in September last year, so it's scheduled to be September this year. And the idea for this one is to raise awareness about the dangers of bottom trawling. And if you're not familiar with what that means, that's when they look for shrimp and other things that we like to eat, that's how they drag this stuff across the bottom of the ocean. And it can entangle sea turtles, dolphins, whales, things we don't want to typically eat. But it also harms the delicate plant life in seabeds, which are these really vital, important ecosystems that basically support all the things that we do want to eat. So what does Sacred Acre do? They basically triple the population of a local town. They get about 2,500 ravers. So it's that kind of festival. They're out there to dance. It's bass-heavy music, and it's a lot of EDM artists that you might be familiar with. But basically the idea of this festival is to remind people that bottom trawling is not something we want to do. We want to find other ways to go about getting our seafood. Really weird mix of things there, right? So you got seafood plus EDM. Interesting. This one I've heard about for a long time. Number 6 is called Farm Aid. And this took place last September. It's scheduled to take place this September as well in Noblesville, Indiana. What's the mission for Farm Aid? It might sound self-explanatory because it probably is. The idea is to protect farmers and also aid climate-resilient agricultural techniques. So this has been going on for a long time. It's had big names in country music and rock and pop music as well. Some people like Willie Nelson always show up to perform. John Mellencamp, Neil Young, these might be familiar names to you, but also like Dave Matthews as well. So they've had, most recently, they said the number of attendees at Farm Aid was 20,000. So that's a good attendance record there. What do people eat? Shrimp, grits, burgers, Brussels sprouts, chicken tenders. But it's all sustainably raised and sourced from local farms, and that's part of the message of Farm Aid is to support local farmers. And also, they have something called the Homegrown Village. The idea is to educate the attendees on the work of American farmers, especially when it comes to environmental health. Soil, like trees, actually keeps carbon in the ground, and farmers can optimize it if they use the right techniques. So it's not just about teaching the attendees, but also educating farmers as well. Pretty cool. Number 7, we've got the Ohana Festival. This is in California, in Dana Point. And this one took place in September to October last year, scheduled to take place at the same time. What do they want to teach people here? How to conserve the ocean environment. And this also uses some star power to get attention. In this case, Ohana Festival has used Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder to raise awareness about ocean conservation. And they actually have this main stage that joins the Doheny State Beach, where actually Eddie Vedder learned to surf as a youngster. And now he's, a former headliner. They've also had some other big names attending in 2023. The Killers, Haim, The Chicks, Foo Fighters, The Pretenders. So they get a good crowd to show up. And they've also have a really friendly atmosphere. The idea is that performers can show up and do surprise sets with each other. So, for example, last year, Van Halen's former lead vocalist, Sammy Hagar, joined The Killers for a cover of Van Halen's Why Can't This Be Love? So that kind of thing might happen. But at the same time, the idea is to provide people with why the ocean is so important and why it should be protected. They've got researchers, activists, politicians, and even surfers who give talks about the environment. And you can go sign up and volunteer at environmental organizations with booths nearby. So it's kind of all things at once. A couple of quick mentions really quick. One that's going to take place probably October to November this year on the weekends only is the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. The mission of this one is to promote local, sustainably sourced food in Hawaii. So very specific to there. If you've ever been to Hawaii, it's really expensive to eat everything. So yes, I can understand why they want to promote local, sustainably sourced food in Hawaii because everything that's imported costs so much money there. And finally, we've got Art With Me. And finally, this also includes another country that's not the United States. This takes place in both Miami, Florida and Çeşme, Turkey. And the 2024 dates are expected to be probably in December in Miami. And the Turkey event was probably already took place in June. But the idea is to have an advanced sustainability and low waste party. So Art With Me, obviously they're going to have art you can look out. There's Art Basel Miami, which is a big posh art festival with over-the-top star-studded parties. And Art With Me, on the other hand, you can go barefoot. You can attend cacao ceremonies, talks on sustainability. You can do yoga. You can lie in a circle of dozens of people. Yeah, it's a total chill atmosphere. So these are just a kind of interesting look at different ways people are doing festivals to kind of teach things that we can do better and also to kind of give examples of how to do things in a better way. And that is going to do it for our daily list for today. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to We're All Alone by Frankie Valli, and then we'll be back with Inside Korea. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard We're All Alone by Frankie Valli, and now it is time for Inside Korea. We talk about some stories and events that are happening here, of course, to get a better look at what's happening in Korea and a better understanding. And we've been talking about festivals a lot today. There's a reason. And I wanted to say thanks, Lee Kelly, for really quick, just for sending some really awesome pictures of both the Busan Sea Festival and the Busan International Dance Festival. So other examples, he says, as a photographer, really great events to check out, and some of the best and favorite festivals he's ever been to. That's what I'm saying. There's all kinds of really interesting festivals that take place, especially during the summertime, and a lot of them try to not only entertain, but to keep you cool because it gets really hot here in the summer. So the story I saw recently was that the Water Bomb Festival is going to thrill 9 cities. And what this is, it's a summer festival that combines music and water activities. And the idea, cool us down for the summer, but entertain us. However, the festival has faced some criticism for water waste and environmental issues. Why? Well, participants, while they're there, you can enjoy performances of music, of course, and water activities at the same time. And this is not a new festival. It actually started in 2015. It was held every year except for 2020 and 2021 because it was canceled, obviously, due to the pandemic. It is an alcohol-allowed event, so it is restricted to adults, so it's not quite family-friendly. But they actually got 200,000 people last year. So there's plenty of people who showed up. And a lot of the participants are in their 20s and 30s. It's kind of considered an essential Korean summer event among a lot of young people. And so where is it going to happen? Well, it started with the Seoul version that's going to run just outside Seoul from Friday to Sunday in Goyang. And then it's going to take place at 9 different locations, which include Jeju Island, Daegu, Busan, Incheon, Daejeon, Sokcho, Suwon, Yeosu, and it's going to run all the way till the end of August. So it's this traveling festival is going to take place in a bunch of different cities. The Seoul lineup actually had some big names. It had rappers like Zico, Jay Park, Simone Dominic, K-pop artists including Hwasa, Chungha, Kang Daniel, Minho, and Taemin of SHINee, Kiss of Life, and P1 Harmony, as well as comedians Lee Soo-ji and Chi Ye-eun. So, okay, they're definitely attracting a lot of people. However, the criticism is because of the excessive water usage. In 2022, for example, the actor Lee El criticized the festival on social media saying, "I wish that the 300 tons of water used at that concert could be poured into the Soyang River." At that time in 2022, the regions near the Soyang River were suffering from severe drought around the same time. Also, the TV personality and DJ Julian Quintart posted a photo of one of the invitations that were probably sent just to VIPs. He posted that on his social media and said, "Single-use LED in the invitation." What he means by that is the invitation itself was probably going to be thrown away and it wasn't sustainably made, right? It had LEDs within the invitation. That's just creating electronic waste, right? Or e-waste, as it's sometimes called. The DJ further explained, "As a DJ, I have always been concerned about the impact of festivals on the environment. I have been critical of excessive water usage, and when I saw that invitation used non-recyclable materials containing rare and expensive resources, I was honestly upset and frustrated." He added that even Coldplay showed efforts towards sustainability at their concert by reusing entrance wristbands, minimizing the use of disposable cups, and energy-saving LED screens, and flying on also commercial flights instead of private jets. I hope to see festivals in Korea also taking environmental concerns into account. So there we have it. This is going to be taking place soon all over the country. And the question is, will this be resourceful or a wise use of resources? And where does the water come from even? Well, the water that they use and other typical water festivals comes from tanks that are filled with municipal water or water that is drawn from reservoirs. According to an official from a resort, they said that the company plans to use groundwater for this year's event. And he mentioned that it's kind of difficult to actually accurately measure the amount of water that will be used during the festival. So I guess they have a general plan for it, but will they go over that amount? It's kind of hard to say until they do it. So there are criticisms like this regarding the water usage. Some people are arguing on the other side that it's unfair to blame water festivals for issues like droughts or water shortages. According to a 28-year-old office worker who purchased tickets for the Seoul Festival event, he had high expectations and had a great experience 2 years ago at the same event. And he says it does indeed use a lot of water, but I think the issues surrounding water and the festival are separate matters. Instead of reducing the water waste at the event, I believe the fundamental solution should be to address the drought problem. There kind of goes back into that idea of having festivals that could be used to educate people. So this could be something they could combine with this festival that's going to happen in a variety of cities around Korea. Perhaps use that as a platform to kind of educate people on not wasting water. There you go. Our second story for today is that 2024 Seoul Summer Beach is planned to open to the public in Gwanghwamun later this month in Gwanghwamun Square. This is a 40-meter-long swimming pool with 2 water slides that will open in Gwanghwamun Square in central Seoul later this month, according to the city's tourism promotion agency. The 2024 Seoul Summer Beach is set to open from July 26th until August 11th. It's going to be twice as big as that of last year to mark its second year of hosting. And these 2 water slides are in collaboration with some friends you might see from some certain apps, and you're familiar faces for sure. And there's also going to be a 40-meter-long swimming pool set up behind the statue of King Sejong the Great. Now, to me, in my mind, that's a very interesting clash of old and new. I'm curious, anybody who's up in Seoul, have you been to this summer beach that they set up last year? And are you planning to go again? The idea is anybody can go. There is a limit of to 800 people who can join at one time. That's a really huge area if you think about it. The swimming pool will actually be operated in 5 shifts every day. And there will also be a summer vacation zone where people can retreat from the heat. And if you think about it, Gwanghwamun Plaza or Square is right in the midst of like all these big buildings. It must get extremely hot right there. So I can imagine there will be a lot of people looking to cool off. Starting this past Monday, there was actually a priority entry ticket raffle. So if you're looking for VIP treatment, check out the website there and perhaps you can be a lucky winner too. So there we have it for our 2 bits of news for Inside Korea for today, both related to kind of like festival and water usage, things that we do in the summertime. Is it a wise use of water? Are we using water responsibly? You know, sometimes it gets so hot we don't really even think about it. But yes, some things that are happening here definitely in Korea that are unique to Korea, and should be some interesting news coming out of both of those things. So that's it for Inside Korea for today. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers, and we'll be back with our perfect playlist. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers and Michael McDonald singing there. Very enjoyable. But now it is time for our perfect playlist, and we've got a theme of best cover songs this week. And I'm excited about the first one for sure, because this one I'm going to be singing. You won't see my face, but I'll be singing along with this one. Our first song today is Without You by Harry Nilsson. And you may have I'm guessing you might know this song. This is one of probably a standard. He's turned this version of the song into a pop standard. The original was actually by the band Badfinger, and their version's good, but Harry Nilsson's performance of this is probably, I would say, iconic. It's very passionate, and his use of his voice in the chorus especially, you'll hear it. It's full of passion. And it's really interesting that Harry Nilsson, who, while being a very excellent songwriter on his own, his two biggest hits were actually cover songs. It was this one, Without You, which was originally by Badfinger, and also he was famous for a cover of a song called Everybody's Talking from the soundtrack on Midnight Cowboy. And that's another great Harry Nilsson version of an original song. And I was actually unaware that Mariah Carey covered this song as well. So she's got her cover version is actually kind of based on Harry Nilsson's cover. So very interesting how this song just kind of changed by one artist taking it from another. Our second song for today is I Don't Want to Talk About It by Rod Stewart. The original for this one was by Crazy Horse, which, if you're not familiar, was Neil Young's band. And Rod Stewart definitely has an iconic voice as well. It's very distinctive. He's got a kind of raspiness to his voice that makes it sound more serious, more in-depth than perhaps the originals. But his take on this song, I Don't Want to Talk About It, actually can't really convey the weariness that Danny Whitten, who was the original songwriter for this song, brought to the song. And this is definitely an interesting song to take a listen to and see how Rod Stewart's interpretation changed this material as well. So we've got two songs for the perfect playlist for you today. Without You by Harry Nilsson, followed by I Don't Want to Talk About It by Rod Stewart. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and you just heard I Don't Want to Talk About It by Rod Stewart. I was enjoying that acoustic instrumentation there at the end, and I was thinking to myself, is Rod Stewart playing some of that? Because I think a lot of people don't know he actually is a pretty good acoustic guitar and mandolin player, I believe, as well. And before that, we heard Without You by Harry Nilsson. And if you've never heard that version of the song before, send me a message. I want to know, because I've heard that song in so many places throughout Korea, from Norebangs to wherever you might go. And it's definitely a classic take on another person's song by the person with a very expressive voice. And now I'm going to go listen to the Mariah Carey version, because I didn't know. I had no idea. Mariah Carey had a version of that song as well. And that's going to do it for our perfect playlist for today. And that's going to have to do it for the 2 p.m. Reboot as well. We're out of time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I have been your host, Casey McKeever. We'll be back, of course, at 2:05 p.m. tomorrow. Please stay tuned for Year Busan. And we've got one more song for you. We're going to listen to Ocean Drive by Duke Dumont. Have a great day.